Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome once again back to our podcast. We are so excited to have you all today, this evening. You know what? This is the evening edition. This is the evening edition of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you're listening to this during the day, if you're driving to work, take your hands off the wheel. Close your eyes. Let's get real down. Turn it off. No, not right now. In a few minutes when I explain what you need to do. Just in a few minutes, pause it. Save it till nighttime. Go somewhere. Go to your happy place, your reading nook. If you have a nice, comfortable couch in front of a television, turn that television off. Get you a tall glass of wine. Get you some brandy on the rocks or vodka soda. Your mouth getting wet, Lord. Get your doobie, your marijuana cigarette, if that's what you're into. Get relaxed. Let's have the quiet storm edition of the Tea and Crystals podcast. Y'all ready for that? No, I'm just playing. We finna get crunk in this bitch today. I'm excited. Crystal, are you excited?
I am excited, especially because this is our 20th episode. Ooh, oh my God, it's so exciting. It's 20 episodes. It's so crazy.
20. Can you believe it?
No.
We just started this little ragtag show last September, and here we are, 20 episodes later. So excited. The audience is growing.
Yes.
Social media is growing. The stories are getting crazier and crazier. Yes. We are getting more and more comfortable on the mic.
Yep.
I'm trying to watch all my curse words because that's the first thing my family says when they see me. Boy, you be cussing on that podcast. You're motherfucking right. I be cussing, okay, because I'm grown. Krista, how do you feel 20 episodes in?
I'm really proud of where we're at. Like, I think I don't think either of us thought we would be where we're at, like, especially in terms of like our social media and our listeners and stuff like that. Like, I was convinced, especially because the first 2 months, like our Facebook in particular was sitting at 38 followers, and that was from our friends and family. Like, oh yeah, we posted our announcement on our personal Facebooks and Instagrams. We were like, we're going to be doing a podcast, follow this page, yada yada yada. And so we got 38 followers from me and him, and it sat there, just that, for months. So I was like, yeah, this is where it's always going to be. And I was okay with that because, at the end of the day, we're just having a good time. This is, let me tell you, something we do for ourselves than anything. It's something that relaxes us, unwinds us from a long week. So, but now that we've been getting more of an audience, stuff like that, it's gotten a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I really, truly enjoy doing this.
Yeah. I'm with you 100%. I think for me, right, you see the people listening, you see the people interacting, and it's so cool. But for me, I don't really look at it as they're interacting with me. Like, I look at it as they're interacting with each other, and that's what I kind of prefer. Yeah. Like, I want y'all to use us as a community. Build a community here amongst yourselves. For me, this is fun for me to do with Crystal. And as long as it's fun for me to do with Crystal, we're going to keep on doing this thing. If y'all want to listen to it, it brings me joy. And especially just to creep into the comments every once in a while, to see y'all in there liking each other's comments, making whole threads and stuff, sharing stories with each other. Like, it's so fun. So shout out to 20 episodes. I know. I'm gonna let us pat ourselves on the back now. We can do it again when we get to 100. We ain't finna do it every 10 episodes, y'all.
No.
Damn. Y'all got 60 followers. Come on. What y'all doing all that? Y'all acting like y'all done did 100. We just want to celebrate our little 20 episodes, okay? Let us do that. We'll do it again.
We'll probably give another little shout out at 50 episodes. I will say that.
Yeah.
We'll do it at 50 because that's a big thing.
Yeah, we're going to do that 50. Oh, my God. So, Crystal, before we get started, as always, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. This week has been kind of wild. So we had something kind of... I don't know the full story of it. I just thought about this. This isn't something I told you about in our pre-show.
Mm.
Kind of sad and shocking happened over this past weekend. I don't know if you're not on TikTok, so I don't know if you saw the video, but
Mm.
someone drove off of our Virginia Beach pier.
Girl, I saw that
Yeah.
yesterday. I saw it on the Facebook. Somebody had shared it, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was looking at first because
Mm-hmm.
I was half paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
watching my baby.
Yeah.
So I was watching what she was doing, and I looked back down, and I just saw like just a shadow, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "What was that?" And I saw what the headline was, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I rolled the video back, and I just saw that, like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I don't know the story. I don't know if they found
Mm,
any. I mean, obviously there was someone in the car, there was someone driving, but they don't know
mm,
how many people were in the car. I don't
mm,
know if they found out yet because this happened like yesterday or the day before. So I don't know if they've
mm.
found yet who was driving the car, what the situation was. Like, were they in distress? Were they going through a really low point? Was it something as oddly out there as like they were following their GPS and just didn't see where they were going? Like,
That's
I
what I
don't
was
know.
thinking, but
Right.
it
That's what
was it
my
looked
mom
too
said.
deliberate.
Yeah, that's what my mom said, especially because you kept seeing breaks. But I mean, you don't know with people. So
Yeah.
I know that they found the car. Like they did some, I don't know what it's called, but they were able to like scan that
Sonar.
general area and they were able to see that there was a car in there, but I don't know if they've been
Oh,
able to retrieve it yet. So
yeah.
I will definitely keep an eye on that and keep you updated.
Yeah.
But
I, I,
yeah,
I don't think they were following GPS because you and I are from the area.
yeah,
We have been in a bunch of times. You can see it is literally the ocean.
yeah.
Like
And
you
it's
can see
not
the ocean
like,
from the road. So
yeah, and I don't think that pier is like, it's not like you're following GPS and then you can just hop over a curb and go straight onto, no, like
exactly.
it's like the road goes this way and they would have to turn into a parking lot over
Hmm.
a pier walk and then go onto the dock. There's a
And
lot of things they would have hit if they were on a GPS that would have been like, this isn't right.
there's a gate there.
Yeah.
The gate, from what I saw in the comments, the gate was closed and they
Mm-hmm.
ran through the closed gate. So this was
Yeah.
on purpose. Like
Yeah, because it was early
it was
morning.
obviously,
Yeah, so
something
that
going
bridge
on.
wasn't even that dock wasn't even open yet. So yeah, but whoever was driving, whoever was in the car, my heart goes out to all those families.
Yeah.
And I hope they're able to find whatever answers they can about it.
Yeah, child.
On the flip side, I was
Hmm.
unintentionally following a story on Facebook. I don't know if anyone else did, but I screenshotted stuff. And I'm hoping to share it with you guys. We uploaded the media. We've never really been able to fully do this stuff. And we can't really practice with it, but I uploaded the media. So I don't think I'm a part of the actual group it was taking place in because I don't know if it's a public group. But if it is a public group, then I probably saw it in the actual group or someone screenshotted it and put it in another group. But either way, there are Facebook groups where people will be like they'll send a photo in and they'll ask you to Photoshop it to look like something else. So this past weekend I saw where this girl, this very beautiful girl, she was standing next to a brand new like Honda and she was like, "Can you Photoshop me with a better car because my man basically has left me for another chick and she has a G-Wagon or something like that." So I'm going to try
Oh
to put this
God.
first photo up. This was her first photo. Um if you guys
Not
can
she
see it.
said. my, my man knew, girl.
So this was it. She says, "Can y'all put me in something nicer and more expensive? I'm trying to stunt on my baby daddy. Just make my baby daddy's new chick. She drives a G-Wagon. Help me get my family back. I can't compete with an upgrade." And
Hey,
mind you,
it's to help me get my family back, ma'am.
mind you, a lot of people were in the comments like, "Girl, like you're
Mhm.
looking like that and he's left you. He's like, I don't like you're beautiful." They were like hyping her up. "You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. Like this man is
You
obviously
know,
crazy."
when a black woman puts on a clear heel, that she means business.
Mm.
Okay, either she's going down to the pink. That's for y'all who watched a certain show. Either she going down to the King of Diamonds, or she's trying to stunt on somebody, because a clear heel is a very serious moment for a black woman. And
Right.
you know what? I ain't gonna talk too much because I'm finna get myself in trouble. But shout out to you, ma'am. Shout out to you.
So I was not expecting, I saw this photo. I went in the comments. I saw some people, but no one had really posted anything that was like actually good. Like they were mostly jokes. And a lot of them were like hyping her up, stuff like that. I never expected to see an update to this at all. But lo and behold, here I was, like literally 30 minutes before going on this podcast. I saw an update to this. And I can't wait to show you guys because this went in a completely different direction than I thought it was going to go.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the second picture up and I'm going to read to you guys what it says. It's a text message thread. So obviously someone was able to Photoshop her in a photo, and she then sent it to the baby daddy. And so this text message thread is her and the baby daddy. And I guess she posted it on Facebook. I don't know why she did, but someone screenshotted it, sent it around to let everybody who had initially seen this post see it so they can get their update. So this says, this was the photo with her in this nice car. And she sends a picture to her boyfriend and says, "Your new chick could never." And he says, oh man, hold on. Okay. So he says, "Could never what? Lie about a Tubi movie and cheat like you do?" She says, "Okay, but you do know I made a mistake. She ain't me and you know it." He said, "That's why I love her, because she's not you." Oh, this thing keeps going out. Let me see if I can pause this. Okay.
Come on, sir.
And she says, "Well, you either gonna be with me or you going on child support."
Oh, they got a child? That's why she said she want her family back. Okay.
And so he says, "Do what you have to do, shawty." And she goes, "Well, can we still mess around?" So then he sends her a picture of this big ass beautiful diamond ring, and he said, "You so busy trying to flex on her, but I'm about to put a ring on her."
Oh no.
And that was the end of that conversation.
Okay, but I have so many questions. Please leave this up for me, okay? Because I'm really trying to analyze this.
Okay.
First of all, my man said lie about a Tubi movie and cheat like you do. I'm trying to figure out what Tubi movie she is lying about. What is the context there? That needs to be a whole nother thread, okay?
Yeah.
And the way that she is cutting up in these text messages, I believe him 100% that she be cheating left, right, and center. Okay.
Yeah.
She is.
She said it. She said, "Okay, but I made a mistake." Like, she's owning up.
You know what? And you are exactly right. But it's the fact that she said, either you gonna be with me or you going on just. It is something about that dang-a-lang, ma'am, that has you in a twister, okay? And you just cannot get your bearings. I need you to stand up. Okay, stand up, fight back, ma'am. You are on the ropes. He got your ass. He is giving you the body shots to the ribs. And baby girl, you're going down. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're going down bad. I hate to see this for you. You seem to be a very pretty lady. I can't say nothing else. You're a liar, you're a cheater, you're desperate. Like, it's a lot of things going against you.
Yeah.
You seem to be a little crazy for going to these links to get your family back. But you're a very pretty lady, so you have that going for you. Please go out there and find you another man's life to ruin. Okay? Because I'm sure you're good at it. And I'm sure these men enjoy the ride. Okay? Go out there and do your thing, baby.
Because let me tell you something. Can we still mess around? Like, ma'am.
She said at the very least.
At the very least.
Put that thing on me.
I don't need the whole relationship. Like,
okay. I just need the equipment.
When I call you, you just come.
Okay. Drop everything. And I mean everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that is funny to me.
It is hard because let me tell you something. If this was a man, we'd be like, "Nah, fuck you, like, screw you, blah blah blah." You're a very beautiful woman, but you do seem to be a liar and a cheater and a little desperate there. I don't know. I guess attention sinking since you put this on the internet. I don't know what you were expecting because you wholly admitted to stepping out on a
Yeah.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But it's the fact that she chose to also be pictured next to a G wagon when she said that the new woman got this. Like, ma'am, you should have been posted up next to a Phantom, a Maybach, like something. Let's elevate it a little bit. You know, a
yeah.
Rolls. Somebody should have put you in a car with
Mhm.
the star ceiling of the Rolls Royce, like you with a champagne glass flute in your hand. Like you supposed to elevate it. You're supposed to
Yeah.
be in a picture with Diddy on your side. Actually, no,
I was about to say that
that's not.
that's no longer
But you know
the
what?
good reference.
But you know what? With the way that she be acting in them text messages, they may be two peas in a pod.
Right. So that was my weekend. That was my week.
Yeah. That
Being able to go along on that
is
ride. If we get an update to that, because I know y'all love to scream update part 2, part 3 in my comments.
yeah.
Even when
Mm-hmm.
I've said this is the full story. Let me tell y'all something. If I put full story on something in that
Mm-hmm.
moment that we recorded, that is all I have for you. If there is an update, I will include it in the full story video, or I will say
Mm-hmm.
go to part 2 for the update. But if I say full story and you go on, especially on our TikTok page, and you don't see any other video related to this, because that is the full story. If you feel like there's more to it, you're probably right. But they did not write it. They did not have
Mm-hmm.
it. If the video feels abrupt, it's probably because that's right when we start discussing it, and y'all on TikTok don't want to hear me discussing stuff with people. So I cut
Mm-hmm.
it right before we actually start talking about anything. That might be why the video seems abrupt. But other than that, if it says full story, it's the full story in its entirety. I
Yeah.
have nothing else to give you. So
And
sorry.
y'all know where these stories come from. We
Yeah.
tell you the exact subreddits it comes from. We tell you the titles of the story. Take your ass. You on Google Chrome right now? You on Safari? Get in that goddamn search bar and type that story in and go find it on Reddit and get in them comments and see what you can find. We giving y'all everything that we have,
Yeah.
okay? And I'm not finna revisit it and I'm not finna give you no more, baby. So you're on your own.
Although there's
Good
some that
luck.
I do revisit, but most of them
Mm-hmm.
because I get it. I hate reading a story that doesn't have an update at the very least. But
Mm-hmm.
there are some topics that are just too good that I can't help but read it because but I do try to keep an eye on some of these stories to see if they ever update. And if they ever do, I promise I will find a way to bring it back up in an episode. But if I put
Yeah.
full story, that's it. That's all I got for
Yeah,
you.
baby.
Got nothing else.
And that's probably all you ever gonna get. So
All
God
right,
bless.
so let's move on. We're going to get to our stories. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
start.
Yes,
And
please.
this one is a Today I Fucked Up story. It's very short, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's not going to be a whole lot of discussion about it. But this one is Today I Fucked Up by living in a dark bedroom for 6 years. So, the overhead fan in our bedroom uses one of those compact halogen light bulbs. 6 years ago, the bulb burned out and got really dim, just barely aglow. I bought a replacement bulb, but when I put the one in it, it was also barely lighting up, so I realized the unit was bad. The fan still worked great. It literally is the best fan I've ever had because it moves a ton of air and is super quiet. The fan had also been a gift when we moved into the house, and the unit cost over $400, so I didn't really want to replace it, even though our bedroom doesn't get much natural light. So it is pretty dark. So since then, over the years, my wife and I had to make do with no overhead light. We open the windows during a day, and at night use a combination of bedside lamps and bathroom light. It's never really as good of lighting as an overhead lamp, so I keep some flashlights up there for when we are cleaning or looking for something, etc. After 6 years of living in the dark, this winter, I just decided to replace the damn thing. But before I did, I decided to try one last time with another bulb because, however unlikely, it's possible both bulbs I had tried were bad. So I'm up there installing the new bulb, grab the remote, the fan has a remote, and as I'm turning the light on, I realize the goddamn thing is dimmable. For 6 fucking years, we lived with the inconvenience of no overhead light. And the
Oh,
whole time, it was just because the damn thing was set to dim. F me.
I shouldn't be this weak. But as soon as you said, as soon as you mentioned that second bub again, I was like, oh my God, it's demo. You lazy piece of shit. Let me tell you something. You deserve all of them 6 years of darkness. Okay. That is ridiculous. For your lazy batootie to be sitting in that room in the dark for 6 years because you don't want to climb back up there and figure out what the hell going on with that light bulb. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And you know what? Crystal and I had a pre-show meeting, and we talked briefly about halogen light bulbs. And I was like, I don't remember. I know what a halogen light bulb is, but I don't remember like what the difference is. I know the difference between, a fluorescent, LED, all that different type of stuff. But I was like, halogen, da da da. I know now because Crystal was like, you'll know what it is after I read the story. And you're exactly right. Because I have one that's dimmable. We have 2 bedside lamps with halogen light bulbs that are dimmable. That is freaking hilarious. That is so funny. He thinking something wrong. First of all, I chuckled when he said this is the best fan I've ever had. Sir, what constitutes a good fan?
Look, when you find, for especially if you're someone like, I hate heat, I don't like being hot. When you find a fan that moves a lot of air and you get a lot, and it really, yes, I get it. So that's what he was saying. It moved air really well around their room. And plus, I think it was a combination of things because he did say it was like $400 and they had just gotten it when they moved in. So I understand why he's like, I'm not replacing this because at the very least, the fan is really good. And I'm not trying to spend $400 like trying to get this exact same unit.
What kind of factory industrial fan did they get for $400? That's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I guess
for me,
yeah.
I don't use fans personally because I have a very sensitive airway. So if I use a fan, even just for like an hour or 2 at night, or if there's like a breeze in the room, this throat right here, it's finna be sore. I'm finna be fucked up for a couple of days. Like it's finna be a lot of nasal drippage and stuff. Like I can't do no fan. So I've never been a fan. So I can't relate to enjoying a fan, but I can see for people who enjoy them, to have a really good. But I'm just like, is it the bend of the blade? Is it you know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I just found out like last year that fans can go in 2 different directions. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think depending on the season, like you have to switch it so that it will go in the opposite and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I had no idea because does one way suck air up and the other one pushes air down, or
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. My headlamp is also broken. It's not dimmable. It's because the cord part literally came out when it was off. So I can't flick it on and off. It doesn't matter changing the bulb. Like I have to. And I'm the same way. I have one window in my room and I just get lamps and stuff like that. So at this point it does need to replace because at this point when the fan does go, it like shakes. So I never put it on. So I have like a big box fan that I just have right next to my bed. But yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Like depending on the season is yeah.
That's something that, you know what, I'm gonna go on Google. I'm gonna go on Google and find out exactly because I did. Somebody had explained it on Twitter, and
yeah.
But isn't that like a crazy phenomenon? All the information that we get like every day, and it's like useful information, and then we give us 3 weeks, gone.
Yep.
You only remember that you learned about that thing, but you don't remember what that thing is. There's a bunch of useless shit on the internet. Sorry, y'all. Anyway. Well, Crystal, thank you for that quip. I enjoyed that. I hope y'all enjoyed that as much as I did because I got me a good chuckle out of that. Y'all ready to move deeper into these Reddit streets?
Absolutely. I can't wait
Mm-hmm.
to hear what you got for me.
So we finna talk about some assholes. We finna get into that subreddit r/am I the asshole. So this story is entitled, Am I the asshole for giving my sister-in-law 3 days notice that I would no longer make a cake for her daughter's third birthday after finding out she and her parents told others my history? Ooh. Now what's her history? Ooh, let's get into it. I, 28-year-old female, love to bake, and I will often make cakes and stuff for my friends since I met my in-laws in 2018 for them as well. My sister-in-law asked me to bake her. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh because it's getting real. My sister-in-law asked me to bake her daughter's birthday cake for her birthday this weekend. This was back in October, and we discussed what she wanted in detail. It's not my first time making her cakes, but it's my first time as her sister-in-law officially, and where I felt like I was truly part of the family. 3 days ago, I go out to the grocery store and I ran into a family friend of my in laws. This person is not someone I like very much. She's a bad gossip and seems to have some malice in her while sharing gossip about others. I try to be polite to everyone, and normally I don't talk to her, but she stopped me and went out of her way to ask me when my husband and I are having kids. Then I mentioned to her, then she mentioned to me about me being a foster kid and an affair baby, and she did it in a way that was meant to come off as actual concern, but was really her being intrusive and cruel. She mentioned that my in-laws and sister-in-law were concerned about our kids not having anyone. Side note, IL and SIL is whooping my ass. It is whooping my ass. These acronyms tearing me apart. I told my husband when he got home from work, and I was a mess. I might be dumb, but I felt like my family was betraying the trust I put in them, and they did the one thing that I asked them not to do, which was tell people about my history. It's not something I want to broadcast to everyone who knows me. My husband confronted his parents and sister, and they said they only mentioned it to a few close circle people, and then defended it when my husband said that it wasn't okay. Sister-in-law said it's not like people wouldn't find out eventually, and he asked her how they would find out if we never told them. I know that's right, husband. Get her together. My history is that both my parents were married to others and had children of their own with their other spouses when they had an affair. I was the result. Both sets of the other children were technically adults or close to it when I was born. The day before my fifth birthday, we were in the car together and it crashed. My parents died, and so did the other people in the other car. I was the only survivor, and I was in the hospital for a few weeks after. Nobody in either of my parents' families wanted me, and I was brought up in foster care the rest of my life. I never found a family. Child. After hearing sister-in-law say what she said and realize how unapologetic they were, and hearing how little they cared about what they did to me, I asked if I could speak to sister-in-law for a second and told her not to expect a cake from me after going against what I wanted and having such little care for the harm it caused. She went crazy and said it was only 3 days until the birthday party, and my husband backed me up and said, "So what?" She and her parents were blowing up his phone so bad he had to block them. And I worry I'm being a bit of an asshole for saying no with such short notice. Am I the asshole? What say you, Crystal?
This is a multi-part. Technically, yes, I will say you could be the asshole, but not. You're more being the asshole to your niece, who's 3 years old, because at the end of the day, like, it's the cake for her. But if I could have you divorce a family without actually divorcing the husband, I would highly recommend that, because you are not the asshole in regards to them. I don't know I understand that when people have affairs, there's a lot of hurt, especially when everyone is grown in the situation, like children and everything like that. But you guys who are not in the situation, mind you, like your partners were not involved with this. You're making it out to seem like her being born from an affair was her fault, essentially. It wasn't her fault. And it's so sad. So sad. I understand, but it is really sad that neither of the family were willing to raise her in any way. I understand, like, some people can't get over that type of hurt. I don't necessarily know if I would be that person. If I knew all these people were gone and she's left and she's only 5 years old, she's a little girl, I can't say for sure that I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not raising that child. Like, I can't say for that for sure. Because at the end of the day, children, they don't ask for this stuff. They don't ask for the situations while they're being born or anything like that. But she confided this stuff in you guys as a personal note. The fact that you felt you could speak to anyone about it, let alone a few close friends. Please tell me your deepest, darkest secret and see how you feel if I went to a few close friends and let them know. I'm so glad the husband is 100% backing his wife up, especially when the sister-in-law was like, well, they're going to find out eventually. How? This isn't something that she just regularly goes and talks about. So how are they supposed to find out other than you telling them? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I can see where maybe a little bit to your niece, because she is technically your niece, even though it's through marriage. You might be an asshole because the cake is for her, but I also don't blame you for being that little bit of an asshole about it.
You know what? I'm glad that you brought up that point about the niece, because that's something that I did not consider at all. Because like we said a few episodes ago, fuck them kids. So she wasn't even in my thought process. But now that you bring that up, and kids at that age are aware. Like, when you make them a promise or something, they're actually going to remember.
Yeah.
Like that you said that. So if anything, I think the compromise would be to buy a cake. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about the plainest Jane. Go up into Walmart. Don't even go to Costco. Don't go to Sam's Club. Don't go to Publix. They're too nice. Harris Teeter, out of the question. Mm-hmm. Go to Walmart. Go to food. Matter of fact, people may not know what Food Line is. Go to Walmart. Yeah. Get that basic ass sheet cake with the little blue rim, the little swirls around it. Get that happy birthday Delilah on it and tell them put a flower on this corner and a flower on that corner of icing, and call it a day. Don't make that look. Do not make her cake. Don't do it.
See,
because that's your way of showing the family, if you want to hurt me on this level, mm-hmm. if you have so little regard for me at that level, I'm gonna show y'all this. I'm gonna show y'all I can play the same exact game.
See, I feel like what she should do is she should make a small, like, cupcake strictly for the little girl. Something that's not big enough to share. Something you can decorate, you can make pretty, maybe make it look more like a cake instead of a cupcake. And then go to the Walmart and get the sheet cake for everybody else. And be like, here y'all people go. Honey, this is for you. Your auntie made this for you. It's only for you. You don't share it to anybody else. Y'all can get that sheet cake. That's something I think would be the better compromise, because you're still fulfilling the promise that you're making the cake, because your cake might just be better than those sheet cakes. And so, but, for the rest of them, fuck them.
And you know what? That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% on that. Make that baby her little, and make me one too. I want me a little carrot cake muffin with cream cheese frosting with It's something about a carrot cake. Oh my god!
I'll send the episode to Aaron.
Oh my god! Anyway, no, because we're gonna talk about Aaron actually because I want another cake from her. Okay, what? Please give her information to the people because she deserves these. Our listeners deserve to taste her creations
Yeah, I
because they're
will have
amazing.
to I'll have to look it up because she did have a name and that's what I always referred to her as. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just I know she can't use anymore because I think someone else within our area had something very, very similar. I think she just
Mm.
goes by Designs by Erin. And
Okay.
Erin is spelled ErinN.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's more like Erin, like it's not said.
Earn.
Yeah,
What you think? You from Baltimore or something?
I think they're New Yorkers. So that's how I hear like
Well,
Miss
that's how people
Charlotte
from
and stuff say it.
the people from Baltimore say earn. You can
Mhm.
say iron, Aaron, earring. It's
Yeah,
all
like I
earn.
don't say it the right way. I just say Erin and I think she's like I accept that from everybody, but when I hear her family say it, I think they say it completely
Mm,
different. Yeah.
earn. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. But
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. If
I'm
you
gonna
ever get the
yeah.
chance for Aaron to make you a cake, I say do it. Next time I come to y'all neck of the woods, Crystal, please remind me
I
that I
will.
want to put in an order for a carrot cake because
I
I
will.
know it's finna slap. I know it's finna be good. Oh my god, I'm so
I will.
excited.
I will. I definitely will.
So we agree that. Well, you say she's partially the asshole.
Yeah.
For me, you're not the asshole. You're not the
Yeah.
asshole. But I do agree with Crystal that you should make a compromise and fulfill your promise in some way to the little girl, I
Mhm.
guess.
Because
And
even if the little girl doesn't know about it, it's something the mother could weaponize. Be like, well, your aunt said she was
mhm,
going to make you a cake, and it was going to be this, that, and the third, but she decided at the last minute not to do it.
mhm.
So
And we know
to
never
yeah,
mind.
that's why I'm thinking like to cover your
Yeah.
base, essentially,
Yeah.
make something small just for her.
Just for her.
Decorate however she wants, and then for the rest of them, give them a sheet cake.
Yeah.
Because I will say that family is completely out of line, and you are
Oh.
completely in the right to feel the way you feel. Because while we essentially are gossips on this podcast, because we're in everybody else's
Hey,
business.
I'm the
Um,
lady in the grocery store as far as
right,
this
right.
podcast is concerned.
We also know that the people who are putting this on the internet have to know it's public.
It's gonna be exactly.
Anybody can get
It's
to it.
public information.
But
Yeah.
I will say, I have read stories where I'm like, ooh, this would be a good story. But in their title or something, they say, please don't put this on any TikTok or podcast or repurpose it.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever see that on someone's post, I keep it moving. Like, y'all
Yeah.
don't want it like that. I get it. So, but
Yeah.
most people are like, tag me in it if you put this on your podcast or you put it on TikTok. So
I personally do not share the information of people's personal stories, like their handles or anything,
yeah.
because I don't want any influx. Like I don't want to be the cause of anything in their
Mhm.
life going wrong. Like
Right.
which I'm just taking this and sharing it because it's public, and you didn't say don't share it,
Mhm.
but I don't want to, And I think some people may find it like with artists and stuff who like to be credited and stuff like these people may want to be credited, but just know if I'm reading it, you're not finna get credited unless you
Yeah.
specifically say credit me.
Mhm.
But if I'm reading it off rip, I'm not finna credit you because I don't want to be responsible for anything coming your way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
my name Bennett and I ain't in
Okay, so we are moving on to my next story.
it. Yes, ma'am.
This is another Today I Fucked Up. It is a pretty lengthy one. So I might try to read it a little bit faster just to try to get through it. But it's one of my favorite stories. Now, granted, this happened 6 years ago. Okay. So it's been a little while, but it's gonna be a good time. So this is Today I Fucked Up by stuffing my face with edibles before dinner with my wife's parents. So, recently, I traveled to Denver, Colorado with my wife and my wife's parents. As a resident of a non legalized state and as someone who is too much of a punani to regularly buy illegal drugs, the thing I was looking forward to most was the chance to buy fancy legal weed. What could possibly go wrong? So, the first thing I do upon arriving and after successfully ditching the in laws is
Oh,
drag
and
my
after
wife.
sex. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Now
I
I got to
couldn't let it
redo that
pass.
line.
I'm sorry. I couldn't let it pass. And after sex. I know that's
No,
right.
I mispronounced because I'm reading so much faster.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
So, the first thing I do upon arriving and after successfully ditching the in laws is drag my wife to a nearby dispensary to a shopping spree. And oh my God, it was just like in my dreams. Tons of different options in neat little sample jars and a team of helpful stoners walking me through the various strains. Are you looking for a mellow body high, or do you want something that gives you a bit more pep and energy? Or are you just hoping for something light to take the stress off? Yes, yes, and yes, I said eagerly, like a fat kid in a candy store, and request an eighth ounce of about 7 different options. In hindsight, if I learned anything from this experience, it is that my math and science teachers were never taught me basic information like what is an ounce or how much weed can a person consume in a single weekend.
Oh my God.
Sure, I can tell you when two speeding trains leaving separate stations will collide or recite Avogadro's number, but it turns out that none of that information is particularly relevant to getting high in a responsible and efficient manner. And it was at this dispensary that I also learned that you can't actually smoke in public places, including the hotel that my wife and I were staying at. As a result, before leaving, I begged my wife to buy some edibles that I could munch on until we found a place to properly get lit. After expressing shock as to the absurd volume of drugs that we were buying, unlike me, she is the product of a private school and understands the imperial measurement system, she relents, and we walk out of the store with what felt like a dump truck of weed, plus a small package of seemingly innocuous ginger snap cookies. When we finally get back to the hotel, I tear those bad boys open, only to find about a dozen tiny cookies regularly the size of a quarter. What the fuck, Denver? Seeing the skepticism and hunger in my eyes, my wife warns me that I should go easy and look at the back of the package first before trying one. Dose size half a cookie. I read silently as I start taking micro bites from the edges like a giant chinchilla, gnawing on a sunflower seed. But what kind of savage only eats half a cookie? So a second later, I covertly pop the remainder into my mouth. And then I quickly stuff another 2 cookies in my mouth for good measure the moment my wife turns her back. We may not have legal weed back home, but I routinely devour an entire package of Milanos in one sitting without breaking a sweat. Your move, Tiny Ginger Snaps. About 30 minutes later, we are in the back seat of her parents' rental car on the way to dinner, and that's when things start to go tits up. My stomach growls loudly and angrily. My wife looks at me with inquisitive eyes that seem to say, diarrhea? But I merely clutch my tummy and mumble something about altitude sickness. You didn't eat a whole cookie, did you? She asked, 10% in genuine concern and 90% in seething irritation. Of course not, I respond, avoiding eye contact for the remainder of the car ride. A few minutes later, we are climbing out of her parents' rental car and heading into some trendy farm-to-table restaurant. I don't remember how I made it to my seat, and I don't remember even looking at the menu, but I do remember the concerned look on the waiter's face as he asked me if I was doing all right. Keep it together, man, I say to myself, but my wife's sudden groan suggests that I may have also said that to the waiter. Things are going downhill fast. The waiter nods sympathetically, takes our order, and then heads to the next table. The moment he walks away, my wife is staring daggers at me. I start to worry that the jig is up. You are sweating from your entire face, she says, with both pity and disgust. Not quite knowing what to do, I reach for my napkin and proceed to blot my cheeks, nose, neck, chin, and forehead. At this point, my wife's mom looks over at me with some concern. Are you all right? She asks kindly. Yeah, the food's just a bit spicy. I reply, far too quick to realize that we had literally just ordered and that there is nothing on the table except for a basket of dinner rolls.
Ow. I'm sorry. I'm dying.
My wife kicks me under the table to grab my attention. Bathroom, now, she hisses. Get it together. I reluctantly get up from the table and head for the toilet. After splashing several handfuls of water on my face, I approach a urinal and start to pee. Now, one of the more disconcerting effects of those tiny ginger snaps monsters is the feeling that time has become untethered from reality. As I'm peeing, I start to get the very unsettling feeling that I have been taking a piss for the better part of an hour and that my wife must be pacing around the restaurant worried about me. But deep down, I know that is absurd. I've been peeing all my life, sometimes multiple times a day. I've probably taken more than 50,000 leaks, and it usually only takes a minute at most. So, given that my typical pee is no more than 60 seconds, and given that it feels like I'm about halfway done, that means that I've probably only been standing here about 30 seconds, right? But the guy at the urinal next to me doesn't respond and instead starts shuffling away from me midstream like a startled penguin. I try, albeit unsuccessfully, to break eye contact. After finally finishing, I again splash some water on my face and return to my seat, making sure to apologize to the table for being gone such a long time, just in case my math was off. Next, I try briefly to engage in small talk with my wife's father, but I am far too high to understand what either of us are saying. Not wanting to start laughing uncontrollably at the wrong moment, or really at any moment, I figured the safest idea is to nod my head periodically and drink a ton of water. Nothing cures mental fatigue like water, right? To my wife's horror, I stand up, grab my water glass, and thrust it to the waiter, who unfortunately is on the opposite side of the restaurant. But he turns out to be really cool, and after making his way over to our table, tells me that he'll do his best to keep me stocked with ice water for the rest of the meal. He also helpfully suggests that if the dinner rolls aren't too spicy for me, I should probably eat one or two so that I'm not sitting there on an empty stomach. Smart man. However, after going through all of the bread on the table and 3 glasses of water, I start to get worried that I need actual food to offset the growing paranoia from those tiny ginger snap devils. Do you think I should flag down the waiter again and ask what's taking so long? I suggest helpfully to my wife. What? We literally just ordered 3 effing minutes ago. And at that exchange, my wife loses her cool. How many cookies did you eat? She demands. Whoa, easy there. I responded, somewhat horrified at her outburst. I had a few cookies, but keep it down. I don't want your parents to know how effed up I am right now. Really? They are sitting 2 feet from you. They know. I look up and from the first time notice that both of my in-laws are just staring at me for what literally felt like an eternity. So he leaves, he gives a small edit. He says, as for part 2 of the story, there's a reason, or technically 3 delicious reasons why it was cut short. At that point, my wife's singular focus was getting me out of the restaurant before I either puked all over the table or pissed myself, or an unsightly combination of both. So after a few spastic 2-handed waves goodbye to my in-laws, she rushed me to the door like a Secret Service agent evacuating the president. My night after that was a whirlwind of barfing and groveling mixed with a few vain attempts at getting handsy back in the hotel room. But being the absolute awesome sweetie that she is, my wife stuck with me through the whole nightmare, whispering over and over in my ear, "Please don't die, we have a mortgage."
Not her concern was the mortgage. She said, listen, we have crippling debt. Please don't die and leave me with this debt.
You are the main breadwinner and I need your money.
Okay. You can die after this 30-year mortgage is up. Okay. You can kick rocks on the 31st year. You understand me? But until that 30 years is up, you stuck with me, you bastard. Wow, that was a whirlwind of a story. Number 1, marijuana doesn't agree with everybody. I don't speak from personal experience. Marijuana is not for everybody. I've never tried too many marijuana cigarettes or what did you call them, edibles. But I have heard through the grapevine that people who aren't experienced with edibles do tend to overconsume their first few tries. until they figure out, because each edible is different. You don't know how it's gonna hit you. Like a whole cookie can have the same amount of THC as a little teeny little gummy. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen firsthand the effects of those little gummies. I've seen people cut them gummies in half and be set off like a rocket. Okay. I I don't play those type of games, so I can't imagine what he went through eating multiples of those cookies. I that what did they make it out of the marijuana butter? Is how they get the
I
THC up in it, I believe.
I was never a pothead. I have no idea.
I have a lot of friends who were, and
I
so
yeah, my childhood best friend was, but like even
mm,
though it was literally every day of my life, I
mm.
couldn't tell you anything about it. It was not something I was interested at all. So
See, I always found it fascinating to watch, but I never wanted to partake because I just knew, and it was later confirmed that marijuana just isn't for me. It's not for me, And God bless this man for making it through that night, because shout out to him for going through with the dinner in the
yeah.
first place. Because soon as my stomach would have got to rumbling, I would have been out of there. I would have been, you know what, actually, let's turn the beat around tonight. I'm going home. Cause
Yeah.
because my booty is about to fall at the bottom. Okay. I don't want to be in the restaurant when it happens.
Yeah.
So let me strap myself to the toilet for the rest of that would have been my excuse.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even had to tell them that my brain is ready to crawl out the back of my neck and I can't stop it.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah,
yes.
I was convinced for the longest time that I was gonna like go into criminal justice or I was gonna work for like the FBI or something like that. And I had looked up part of what you had to do to get into those things. And one of the things you had to do was take a lie detector test. And I was convinced that I couldn't have any sort of recreational drug in case they were
Mm.
like, have you ever used drugs? Because I didn't want to have to sit there and be like, yes. Because at the time I was assuming weed was still going to be a pretty big offense. And so I would
Yeah.
immediately be like, nope, you can't join our agency or anything like that. But I did try. The first time I tried it was in Amsterdam. And for me,
Mm.
I didn't feel anything. Like, I think
Mm.
maybe I got the munchies and I got a little bit of a headache, but like I tried the little pipe and I tried the brownie.
Oh.
I didn't try
Mm.
the bong because my best friend at the time, she was an avid smoker. She had been doing this for a year. And even she would take a hit of that bong and would like cough up a lung. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no thanks.
No,
I
thank
don't
you.
smoke, so that's not for me. So yeah, I did both those things and we went around the city. Now her mom and her sister was high and she had gotten a buzz, but I was just like, I don't feel anything. Like I don't understand what it is about this that you feel the need to do this every day.
Mhm.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't until years like literally maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, we got a gummy and I won't say who I was with, but we decided to try it and we took the gummy. We both ate one. And I'm telling you, for hours we were sitting there like nothing's happening. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, maybe it just doesn't affect me because this is like the second time I'm doing this and I'm still not feeling anything. So then she
Mm-hmm.
was like, why don't we go get some Dairy Queen? I was like, okay, cool. So we get in the car and start going to Dairy Queen. And mind you, Dairy Queen is like 2 minutes down the road from me. Less than. We get to Dairy Queen and all of a sudden out of nowhere, we start cracking up. Nobody said anything, but we just
Mm-hmm.
start laughing. We cannot stop laughing. We called my brother on the phone. He's like, what is up with you guys? We can't explain it. We briefly mentioned we took a gummy and he's like, okay, well, I'm with the Uber person and they're hearing you. I will call you guys back later. I'm like, okay, cool, and then proceed to burst out laughing. I felt terrible
Mm-hmm.
for the person I was with because they had to order our food. And
Oh
they
my
are
God.
literally at the thing and they're like, hi, welcome to Dairy King. What can I get you? And they're like, I would like Sunday. And I am at my window in the passenger seat, like laughing so hard I can't breathe.
Oh
I
my
can't even make a
God.
sound,
Oh my
dying
God.
laughing.
The
And
monkey is on your back.
this person is you know when you're with somebody and they're dying so hard,
Child.
it makes you
Yeah.
reactionary laugh too. And this person is trying to order our sundaes, and they're just like, I would like a vanilla sundae with caramel sauce.
And I would have been
It
on the
was
other side of the
so
intercom
bad.
like, stop playing at my motherfucking line. Go home. I'm
I
refusing your
felt so
service.
bad for that person. The person I was with, they got
Mm.
through it. They ordered our sundaes. We got them.
Yeah.
And we went home and had a nice little snack. But yes, that was,
Mm.
I've tried the gummies again later, but it didn't really affect me or anything like that.
Mm.
So, but for me, it took hours for that first one to hit. Like, I just thought it was
That's
gonna
the
happen.
story that I hear all the time. People are like, I took one and that shit won't hit. And it was like 2 hours later. And I was like, oh, I didn't got to do this. So I took another one. And next thing you know, we going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship floating through. It was a wrap for them. So I just know that it's not something for me. I wish, because it looks so fun. It looks like such a good time. And
Yeah,
I
it
really
was.
want to be in that number, but it's
Yeah.
just
I mean, for me, it didn't last very long. And for me, it was just, everything was just funny, I guess. But
yeah,
in terms of like actually feeling, I don't know if I really, it didn't make me feel like, oh, I need to do this again. Like, I need to do this every
yeah,
day.
yeah,
With my childhood friend, with her, it was like, it almost like calmed her, because she would
mm-hmm,
just get really quiet and she would just sit there and just be like in her head, in her thoughts. So I don't know what it felt like for her, but even
mm,
though I've experienced something, it wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, I get why you want to do this every day, multiple times a
yeah,
day, why you want to be in this state
mm,
always. So,
yeah. Because I wouldn't be able. Some people are functioning. I wouldn't be functioning.
right. Apparently, I wouldn't either.
I would just be a puddle of mud stuck wherever the hell I was at. Well, that was a fun ride. That I quite enjoyed that. Kristen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel a little frisky this evening. Not in that way. Not
It's about to say,
well, that story that you was talking about, the sex or whatever, the last story got me a little hot under the collar. That's why I keep pulling it.
your poor
No, but
wife. She just went to
I
bed. Like,
well, it's time to go wake her up. She gonna kill me when you hear that. I'm feeling frisky, and I know that we're coming up on the end of the show, but I feel like reading one more story. Are
okay.
you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, we're gonna go over a little bit on time. This story is not long, but I feel like let's have another one. We're having a good time. I'm sure the people will enjoy it.
Yes.
This one is also from r/ Am I the Asshole? And this one is entitled, Am I the Asshole for Not Sharing a Free Meal with My Anti-Instagram Boyfriend? Ooh, it's not about me. It's not about me. Because it could be. So it goes a little something like this. I post my food pics from when I go out to eat on Instagram. It's just for fun. I spend like 30 minutes a week on it, tops. My boyfriend is a very sweet guy in many ways, but one of the things that I'm not so much of a fan of is he often hops on bandwagons of hating on innocent things. Not just like not just not liking something, but making sure everyone knows he doesn't like it, even if nobody asks. I can't help but notice the theme: pumpkin spice this, pouty selfies, Taylor Swift, etc. As you can guess, he is not a fan of the food pictures and he thinks it's very annoying and cringe. He doesn't even follow my Insta, even though he has an account. This is tearing me. He doesn't even follow my Insta. And they put it INSTA. Girl, I'm disgusted. Even though I don't have very many followers, I've started getting the occasional offer and invitations from restaurants in my city to try their food for free in exchange for a review. Nothing crazy, no steak dinner so far, but I've gotten a few sandwiches and several baked goods. Well, I guess I just hit the big leads because I got an invite to go to a new restaurant opening that includes a free appetizer, an entree for me, and one guest. I immediately invited one of my Instagram friends who I've gone out to eat with on several occasions and who also enjoys taking photos of food. I told my boyfriend, and he's pissed that I'm not taking him and says that I'm doing it out of spite. I really think I'm not. If the restaurant is giving me food in exchange for a post, I'm going to put in more effort for the post and spend a few extra minutes making sure that I actually get very good shots of the food. And I'd rather do it with someone who isn't going to sigh and roll their eyes through the entire thing. Also, I think it's pretty audacious of him to actively be unsupportive of an activity that hurts no one, but also expects to benefit when it's actually successful. Am I the asshole?
No, absolutely not. I agree with her 100%. Sorry. Like, I understand. I see these types of people all the time where it's like something's popular or something is enjoyed by a lot of people and they just feel the need to not like it. And I've said this to you before because we've gotten some people in our comments who are just like, we'll have a really popular video where the majority of people are on this person's side, but they will go against the grain. And I don't know if they're going against the grain because they genuinely believe, like, for instance, the sandwich one where the guy forgot his girlfriend of 3 years was allergic to fish and ordered her a tuna fish sandwich. There was one person in the comments who was like, he just made a mistake. Like, why would you throw 3 years down the drain? And like, he made all these comments. And I'm like, I don't know if you genuinely believe that or if you're just one of those people who sees how everyone is like, yeah, that dude's messed up. And you're like, I'm not going to agree with them. I'm going to be argumentative. And I'm hoping that someone will be argumentative with me so that we can argue. So I understand that aspect. But yeah, why would you think that you then get to benefit from her perks, essentially? I mean, for her, while she isn't getting paid yet, this could eventually turn into a career for her because these things do blow up and people will end up paying and asking for sponsorship and stuff like that. But in the meantime, the way she's getting paid is through free stuff. So when she goes to these events, these restaurants too, she's essentially working. Why would you as an unsupportive partner be the one who gets to go with her and enjoy these benefits as well? I wouldn't want you to. The fact that she has someone who essentially does the same thing is going to be helpful to her. Of course she's going to invite that because that person's probably going to be like, oh no, here, let me help you. Let me grab this. They're going to be helping her. Oh yeah, that looks good. No, I don't think that looks good. Do it this way. Where you would just be sulking. Nah, she did right. She did right.
I agree with you 100%. Like, why? Because I know in this instance, I too hate the fakery of it's. I've never been an Instagram person, and I do hate like the whole taking pictures of food. I will take pictures of food, but it's just for me because I want to remember because I know this shit finna hit. Even when I make my own dinners and stuff, I'll be taking little videos and stuff, and the world will never see it. It's just for me to remember what I made so I can make it again. So I completely see where he would be over it. Like, come on, girl, I'm just trying to enjoy the moment because that's the type of person I am. I'd rather enjoy the moment than spend the time getting the right angle and the right picture, whatever, whatever. But if you're going to take that approach, you have to know when the benefits come, baby, it's not for you to reap the benefits. Okay. If she wants to go out and actually build, her audience, build relationships with these places so she can continue to do this type of thing, then you just have to understand that you're not going to be along for that ride. Maybe down the road, when she's getting these things all the time and she can afford to bring you along because this isn't a dinner that is necessarily something that she needs to put a lot of effort into. But especially in these early days, if she's taking this thing seriously, buddy, I'm sorry. You've chosen which side that you are on, and you are on the losing team. she getting these meals. Maybe she can bring you something to the house. Cash App her, Venmo her, Zelle her a little something to bring you a plate to the house if you really want to try it. But I'm with her 100%. Bring your friend who is in it just as much as you are, and enjoy yourself. Take your good pictures, grow your audience, whatever you want to do with it. Do that thing. Sorry, sir. You've lost out on this one.
Yeah, especially because, as she goes, she'll get quicker and better at seeing what she wants and how it can be set up. Like she'll be able to go boom boom boom. But in these early days, especially if you're not someone who is typically a photographer or have already started to hone this craft, if you're really new to this stuff, it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a little time for you to get what you want. And because this seems to be such like one of her bigger things, she's going to want to make sure it's perfect, because this post could lead to her having other bigger restaurants reach out to her. So yeah, like, it's with anything social media wise, there is a lot of money that can be made in social media. There's tons of TikToks where they're showing you how much they're making. But I know there's a lot of people who are turning the nose up at it like, that's not a real job or that's not a real thing. Well, if you know any of these people and you say that, especially when they're starting out and they have no followers, they have nothing, no views, nothing, and they start doing this stuff and you're the one to turn your nose up, and then a couple months down the line, a year down the line, suddenly they're making like $10,000 a month. You don't then get to go be like, hey, I always believed in you. I've been
real.
watching you grow. Like, you go, you slay. Let's do a girls trip. No.
I was watching you the whole time. I just,
Right.
I was a silent supporter, but I was really there with you in the trenches.
Yeah.
Girl.
I don't really do social media. So, like, I didn't follow you or anything, but like, girl, no.
Yeah. No.
Don't scoff at what people are trying to do. It is hard times. It is hard times nowadays, especially for our generation. It's 2024. Our taxes are all types of fucked up.
Child, I just seen something today that was talking about the tax code. Now, mind you, I have been gone for the majority of the time that these taxes have taken place. So I haven't really seen it because I am, tax liable elsewhere.
Right.
But I'm seeing all of this stuff happening and people talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, this sounds crazy.
It is a big thing that's going on right now, and it's hitting a lot of people. And like I said, so like I'm trying to say, because that's going to be a discussion we'll have to have another episode, because that's a thing. But there are people who are trying to find anything and everything they can to make extra money, to get a side hustle, whether that be doing social media when they've never done it before, or doing Uber or DoorDash or any of those other things, taking surveys. People are doing anything and everything they can to figure out a side hustle that works for them to make extra money, because they're barely surviving. And a lot of these people have families and kids and stuff. Don't turn your nose up at them. Like, don't scuff at them. Like, support them. Be nice to them. They're going through it and they're figuring it out.
And that's that's an episode topic for one day.
Yes.
Talking about, why sometimes people are afraid to throw their support behind someone's new endeavor. I think that's, it seems to be a thread and something that happens a lot, where people start these projects and things, and we should really dive into that. But I feel like it's something we should have a guest for, so we'll have to talk about that.
Well, definitely, because I also feel like even with our stuff, technically, I feel like we can relate in some ways. Like, I do feel like there's some people who probably looked at us doing this and were like, yeah, okay. And they're starting to see some of that growth, and they're starting to see that we're getting some listeners and we're getting some attention. And now they're like, well, maybe this isn't so bad. How can I benefit from this?
And you know what? I feel like it's going to be an interesting conversation, because I feel like we were lucky, at least from my experience, that we actually had a good amount of support from people that we know in the beginning. Like, I feel like people, I mean, maybe they, we'll have this conversation.
Yeah,
We'll
we
have
will.
this conversation
We
and
will.
we'll dive into it.
Yeah.
But that we'll push that down the road, and when we have more experience and more weight to put on
Yeah.
the conversation, and we'll bring in some people with some outside
But we
conversations who have done
appreciate
similar
you
things.
guys that
We
are
damn
here
sure
with us
do.
for our 20th
Thank
episode.
you. Thank you so much for joining us for the 20th episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. I had a good time this evening. Did you have a good time on Tea and Crystals podcast, Quiet Storm Edition, Crystal?
I did. I had a really
Gotcha.
good time.
Uh-huh. Well, as always, thank you all again for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you are listening to us. If you like what you saw, if you like Crystal, look at the little pigtails that Crystal got up in her hair today. Okay, if you like what you saw, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. All of that on YouTube or wherever you see us. If you see our shorts, make sure you like them. Whether that's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you would like to share your own story, you can do so by emailing us at teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's TEAANDCRYSTAL at gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, do you have anything else to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
I think I've said it several times already. I'm just really grateful for everyone who has been following us, sticking around, listening to us, watching us, communicate with us, and all that stuff. For our returning people and for our new people, I hope you guys stick around. We really enjoy doing this, and we have a lot of fun things that we're hoping to get to in the year. So,
yes.
yes.
And Crystal has been sharing with me, especially this past week, your lovely messages, the comments that you leave on our different videos, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We see all of it.
Yes.
We read it, we interact with it. I don't want it to get lost in translation when we talk about these things. Like, it really has an effect on us, and it is so lovely to see. Chris and I live regular, degular lives, okay? And in the middle of being busy in things, for Crystal, I was in the middle of a whole bunch of stuff the other day, and Crystal just sent me a screenshot of someone who left this lovely comment, and it just warmed my heart. It made my day. It was ending my day, but it really made my day. So thank you all so much for the kind words and all the new people who are joining. I hope you all stick around. I hope you all enjoy what we do. And here's to many more episodes in the future.
Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Crystal.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. See y'all. Bye.